Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Banded Large Indoor-Outdoor Wall Sconce. This is the 30-58-98. So this is technically an outdoor sconce. It's very rugged. I'll get into how it's made, but it's beautiful enough to be used inside, and I think this would be great flanking a fireplace, flanking a big painting in a contemporary home. Great fixture. Different sizes too. As a matter of fact, I happen to have the medium size on display in our showroom, and this is the glass off the medium. So just remember that when we're looking at glass in a second, because this is going to be talking about the larger version of this, and this is the glass from the next size down. So let's get into the height of the fixture itself, and it's coming in at 20.8, width is 7.8, projection, and that's coming out from the wall, is coming in at 6.5, so it's pretty flush for the most part. This would be good in hallways or walkways. If you're working let's say you're a commercial installer, maybe you're an architect or an interior designer, this would be a great fixture for you to use in lots of different applications as well, inside and outside, because it's a good scale. It's a nice height. What is 20 inches? 20 inches right around there. So the mounting height, that's the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the middle of the junction box. This is the junction box that you guys have, is coming in at 10.4. Backplate 7.8 by 20.8. So I want to show you a little bit more information about that, and how we're going to do it is to look at the installations instructions now. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen midway down. You're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. Open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you how it goes onto your 4-inch junction box. But the cool thing it's going to show you is that the back of this, the back plate and the mounting plate, actually make a little bit of a box. So there's going to be a lot of air back there in places for you to run your wires. It's also going to show you the back plate and the mounting plate that you don't get to see when you're looking at photographs. There's really great line drawing, so always take advantage of that if you can. It's going to be using two pieces of glass on this. So the inner piece of glass is going to act as a diffuser, and that is going to hide this, which is your socket and your light bulb. That's Hubbardton Forge's opal glass, which is a milky white opaque glass. I'll talk more about that later in the video, and it's open on the top, open on the bottom. Remember, this is the smaller piece of glass, but the larger piece of glass on this for this fixture that we're talking about now is 12.3, so it can accommodate quite a bit. The piece of glass that goes over it is Hubbardton Forge's seeded glass, seeded clear. So a couple things about it. So it's clear, it has all these little air bubbles in it that look like champagne bubbles, and the top of it is going to be closed. It's also a very sturdy and very thick piece of glass. You know, Hubbardton Forge's hand-blown glass is incredibly durable, which is great because, remember, you're going to be using these outside most of the time. That's an important thing. And it's just going to go over it and hide everything in the middle there. It looks very beautiful. That is your glass. So this is 16.73 inches, and the one we're talking about for the inside, like I said, is 12.5. So the important thing about the inner glass on this, it's actually coming in at 2.44 inches inside diameter, and that's important because it's going to dictate the bulb you're going to be using. You have to be able to put in a bulb that is skinny enough to get into that glass. So that's why Hubbardton Forge mentions a type B bulb, and that's kind of like this, like a little torpedo, or sometimes they are a flame tip, and that's kind of skinny, as you notice. If you want to stick with an incandescent, you can go up to 60 watts, but I don't think you should do that because there's so many other great things you can do out there with LEDs. So what I would suggest is going for these tubular LEDs that are kind of like shaped like hot dogs. They come in different sizes, and they start off as a T6 and then a T8 and then a T10. And the deal with that is the longer they get, the more room there is for these long filaments, these LED filaments, phosphorus pieces that go way up. And we know that piece of glass is coming in at a foot high, which means that you can easily put in a T10 bulb, and that's going to be about 7 inches high. I have found T10s up to 100 watt equivalent on Amazon, so that's great. You can get the equivalent of 100 watts of light coming out of this. You may not need that, but it's always there if you do need it. So again, screw in base, just like this. Nothing special about it. T10, T8, T6, that's what this guy is. So, and you can pick these up at pretty much any place that sells light bulbs, because these are used in exit signs, very important in the world, and they're everywhere, which means that every hardware store has T8 bulbs. The T10s, I think that, yeah, the T10s are the ones I would probably look for on Amazon or one of the light bulb sites. That'd be a good place for you. If you guys are in the sunny state of California and you're pulling permits for new construction or renovation and they're coming out and they're going to like hassle you about everything, one of those things is going to be that they're hassling you about is this. It's going to be a socket with these two little prongs inside that only accepts a California Title 24 compliant light bulb, which is automatically an LED. So if you're in that situation, we do this as a custom. Just email me and I'll get you details about that. But if you're just swapping out lights or there's nobody coming in because you didn't do any paperwork with your electrical inspector, and you're just putting lights up, this is the one that's going to automatically come with it without a problem. And that'll take pretty much any screw-in bulb that can get into that glass, like I mentioned before. They're going to offer these bulbs to you in all kinds of different ways. They're going to offer these to you in 2700 Kelvin, and depending on your situation, that can be very pretty. If you're putting these, like, let's say you're putting these on an outdoor porch, maybe a screened-in porch or a patio or a deck, maybe around your swimming pool, these would be great as a 2700 Kelvin because you can dim them down, get them to be like candlelight when you're hanging out with your friends late into the evening talking. But if you just need better general lighting, there's other options too. They're going to offer these to you in something called daylight. I'm not a big fan of daylight. Daylight sounds like it should be a warm light, but it's not. Daylight is 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. What we like to use in our showroom is warm white, soft white, and that's the light coming down on this table. That's 3,000 Kelvin. That's what we like to use here, and that's what I think most people would probably want to get because that mimics the nice warmth of an incandescent bulb. There you go. If you're putting these on your garage, front door, those kind of places, don't worry about them being dimmable. No one's going to dim those areas. If you're putting them in those other places I talked about before, you can put a dimmer switch on this fixture. And a lot of people don't think about doing that, but it's a great idea. Like I said, you can dim it down, get it to where you want it to be, and you're fine. Just make sure that you do pick up a dimmable version of that bulb when you're out there looking. Hubbardton Forge only uses aircraft-grade aluminum to make their outdoor fixtures. Aluminum holds up the best in incredibly harsh environments. When you're out and you look up in the sky and you see all those jet airliners running around up there, those are all made out of aluminum for a reason. And part of that reason is it holds up great, like I said. It also forges beautifully. It holds finish beautifully. It doesn't rust. Remember that. It's very important. And they're virtually indestructible when they're all finished. So how Hubbardton does it is they take the fixture itself, they're going to wire it up at the top, they're going to put a wire at the bottom, they're going to send a current of electricity that's going to go through this fixture, making it positive, and they put it into a spray booth with a picture of the woman next to me. You can see she's spraying finish around it, and because it's positive, it's going to adhere to every nook, every cranny, the top, the bottom, the whole thing. After that, they're going to take this and they're going to move it into an oven. That oven is going to melt all of that down and create a very hard shell. So it makes it, again, virtually indestructible. So they've also tested these things in these wind chambers. So they take the fixture, all covered in that epoxy powder coat. It's going to go into that chamber. They're going to shoot salty seawater at it at high velocity for hours and hours and hours, just like you were at the beach and you have like a hurricane coming in, which to me is going to be pretty much the worst environment you're going to run into. So after they tested these and found out that they hold up incredibly well, Hubbardton Forge offers basically the best warranty in the lighting industry. And you can see that on the page for this. So if you scroll down a little bit, there's a link, and click on that and it'll show you the entire warranty and how it all works. Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world at Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a what's on display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.